Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Today we're coming to you with a podcast topic. It's a really juicy topic.
Really juicy.
It's a topic that a lot of people are interested in talking about, and it is dating a dancer, what it's like to date a dancer, what is it like to date in the dance community?
Yes.
Yep.
And I know most people have done it. I've done it. And so far, I got the gem. I have to admit.
We put out a survey, and it was a 10-question survey, right? We got some responses. So we're just going to go through the questions and highlight some of the answers and then just kind of discuss. And I even thought it might be fun if we open up the survey for more responses whenever this podcast goes live to see if anybody else has something else to say. So you want to start with the first question?
Sure. I'll start with the first being number one. Do you think the main reason most people start learning to dance is to meet an attractive person or to be more attractive themselves? So let's just go through and then we can kind of explain what we have so far.
Okay, well, this one surprised me because most people said that no, they did not start learning to dance to meet an attractive person or to be more attractive themselves. I really thought that that would be one of the main reasons, but most people said no. So we're looking at the responses here.
Yes, percentage-wise.
Uh-huh. And yep, and it, almost half said no and 30% about said yes. And then over 20% said
to meet an attractive person, and then 31% said to become more attractive themselves.
Yes. Yeah. So what do you think about that? I think dance makes the ability to dance makes men more attractive.
Yes. And I don't know one person who doesn't look at people on a dance floor and say, man, I never want to do that. Everyone I know who's not a non-dancer, they say, man, I wish I could move like that. I wish I could. I don't have any rhythm. I wish I had rhythm. Most people are envious of dancers.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have to say that I didn't start Latin dancing or any kind of dancing, maybe in middle school. I always liked to dance, but I didn't start salsa dancing to meet attractive people or be more attractive. So I started because my daughter really bugged me for about 2 years. And then we took our first class and then we were hooked.
I wish I had that righteous response.
I know. So talk about how you got started, because not
Lord.
everybody knows the story.
I was stationed in Belgium when I was in the military before I retired, and I took a trip to Bucharest, Romania. And at the time, I had 3 major hobbies, all of which were dominated by the masculine gender. And I could only take one with me. That was my motorcycle.
To Belgium?
The other 2 I couldn't bring with me.
Mm-hmm. What were the other 2?
Okay. Guns.
Mm-hmm.
Can't take those to Belgium.
Okay.
And martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's martial arts schools in Belgium, but a language barrier really prevented that. And I didn't feel like that was something I needed to pursue at the time.
Okay.
So I only had none of those are, of course, masculine gender. There's very little ladies involved in those 3. So went to Bucharest, Romania. Mind you, I was a bachelor. My kids were not living with me. Best exciting thing I could do in Belgium was to drink beer because they have the best beer in the world. But I don't want that to be my primary purpose. I didn't want that to be a habit. So went to Romania. Friends said, we're going salsa dancing. I'm like, okay. Didn't even know what salsa music was. I saw 200 partners on the dance floor. Huge dance floor in Bucharest, Romania. And I looked over and I saw another 20 to 30 beautiful ladies waiting for a dance partner. I also noticed that people, although there was an open bar, most people were drinking water. And also noticed that people who went in there with a significant other were dancing with other people and there's no jealousy. And those all caught my attention. Like, this is a pretty safe scene to be in part of. And so there was my motive
And so
originally.
then,
motive
and so
originally.
then on that occasion, you said, I need a new hobby, right?
I said,
And
"Yep,
it's
I
going to
need a
be
new hobby."
salsa dancing, right?
And I couldn't do it then because I was a company commander at the time, too busy. But after my year in command was up, I took a job in the staff where I got off work at 5. I had all this free time. Then I found Sexy Salsa Sundays in Mons, Belgium, led by Assis Salsa. Love you, Assis. He is a English-speaking dance instructor, but he's taught in French. So all my lessons were in French for the first year and a half. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's go to the next question.
All right. Your turn.
Okay. So the second question was your main reason for learning to dance to meet an attractive person or become more attractive yourself? So
It seems like it's repetitive, doesn't it?
the first one was like, do you think that other people,
Oh, okay, then you're asking yourself.
what do you think other people's reason
So
is?
what was my reason was I want to be more attractive myself.
Yeah. My reason was, like I said, because my daughter kept bugging me about taking salsa classes, but I just assumed that most people do take classes
Saint
to
Annabel.
meet to meet other people.
Here's your
So-
halo.
All right. So number 2 is about our reason, which we just talked about.
And we had 79% say no.
Yeah, this one surprised me.
Yeah, that one surprised me also.
I mean, I'm in the no category, but I expected there to be
A lot more people who are looking for, romantic interests. Then only 14 said to become more attractive. And
yeah, hardly anybody said that.
Hardly anybody said to meet an attractive person.
Yeah. This one really surprised me.
All right. So this one has answers. Okay, it's a continuation.
So I'm going to look at these on my phone.
If the answer was no, then what was your reason? Check all that apply.
Okay. And I think most people said that their reason was they wanted a fun new hobby.
Yeah,
they were looking for a fun new hobby.
That's the one I've seen. Oh, I love dancing. I love being good at whatever I do. Some person said authentic expression. That's an artsy person. Few does not apply to me. And want to reconnect with missing roots.
Yeah, some people said that they were lonely. They wanted to get out more. They were looking for a social circle, new friends, meeting new people.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
And it continues on. More fun, new hobby. I'm looking to see anything else jumps out at us.
Somebody wrote, which I think is interesting, that they were looking for a new hobby. They were lonely and they had just left a controlling relationship, and dance was a way for them to work on themselves.
Dance actually pulled me out of a depression too.
Right, because you mentioned that you were a bachelor at the time that you went to your first salsa social.
Yes.
But that was a new status, right? You were used to, you married for a while and then?
I'd been married for 11 years prior to that. And I think our divorce was still relatively new. 3 years I was divorced. And there's still a lot of conflict with that. It was a pretty messy divorce. And so, yeah, I was alone. And unfortunately, I did have some experience speaking French, and I was able to make friends there. But yeah, there was some depression and a lot of stress in my job. Being a company commander is very stressful, and I didn't have an outlet. Not a healthy one anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, dance is a great way to meet new people.
Yeah, let's see if there's any others out here that jump out at us. Mostly it was wanted a fun new hobby or because of a friend or family member.
Yeah, and somebody said it was a spur of the moment thing to do, which kind of it was for me, because I took my first class after a couple of years of my oldest daughter bugging me about wanting to learn salsa. And then it was New Year's Eve weekend, and I said, hey, let's do it. And that was it.
What's funny is I was teaching salsa in the same town you lived in.
Yeah, I know, except I was in Oklahoma City at the time.
You drove all the way to Oklahoma City, and we lived in the same town.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's a fight for the future.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 4. It's yours, sweetheart.
Okay, so then we asked, have you dated somebody in the dance community, or have you wanted to date somebody but didn't? So, and this was pretty evenly spread out.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
pretty easily, pretty smooth out. 22.9 says no, but I wanted to. 22.9 says no, don't want to date someone in a dance community. 29% says yes, one person. So they joined and they want to date one person.
And that was the most common answer.
Yeah.
They dated one person.
And then 25% says multiple people.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What
Any
are you
thoughts?
looking at me for?
Any thoughts on this topic?
Whatever scenario you find yourself in, whether it's church, whether it's work, whether you're into Jeeps or into racing motorcycles, that's the community you're going to most likely meet people in. Oh,
Here comes Brutus.
Here comes Brutus. Hi. So we have Brutus here in the studio with us in Studio 6. He's the dancing Great Dane, and he's just a glutton for attention.
But you're saying,
go,
just by the fact that you're participating in a community, you're going to find, I don't know, people that you're potentially attracted to.
Yeah, it's
just because.
If you go to church, you're going to find people you go to church with. I'm not even going to edit this. You saw see what I have to do.
Let him sit in my lap.
You goofball.
Oh, I was going to let him sit in my lap. You know he likes to sit in my lap.
Yeah. Oh yes, we're humans also.
So I think what you're saying is that it is a perfectly natural thing to just kind of find yourself having dated one or multiple people.
If you're a doctor, the most people you associate with are people in the medical field. If you're a lawyer, the most people you associate with outside of your family are the people in the law field. So it's only normal that you'll find someone or you'll see someone you're attracted to. It's not abnormal at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's abnormal. And I think some people in the survey said that they actively try to avoid dating other dancers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, which I think is, some people feel more comfortable with that, not dating another dancer. And then also, one of the things that makes it not similar to just going to college and meeting people in college or at church or at work or whatever hobby you're in, it's the fact that dance is such an intimate, partner dancing is can be an intimate encounter. So it's a different type of encounter. And so it makes things a little bit more dicey, which we're going to get into later. I think we're going to take a break.
Talk about vulnerability after a break. We'll be right back. And we're back. And we were talking about how dating in the dance scene, dancing is a little more intimate than like saying going to church or practicing law beside someone, because you're actually touching people. You're getting in your personal space, whether that personal space is in salsa, which is pretty distant, or whether you're doing like sensual bachata or kizomba or tango, where you're connected at the body, at your core level, your physical core.
Right. So the experience of partner dancing with somebody lends itself to create a more physically intimate environment than it would, say, if you're golfing or
yes,
in a college lecture classroom or something like that. And that's where things get a little bit dicey, I said.
I compare it to like jujitsu or judo, where you're competing with other people, but you're actually making that body contact. And so, yeah, you're kind of getting out of the standard, what would you call that?
Yeah, but in martial arts, you're going against your partner. You're not trying to be in sync.
This is
you're
true.
Not
you're not
leading
trying to connect.
And following. Yeah.
There's,
so that's different.
There is a difference, but it's got some similarities. I'm right.
I'm also right.
Let's go to the next question, which is related to 4.
Yeah, so we asked, for those that had not dated in the dance community, whether they wanted to and just didn't, or they didn't want to at all, what was their reason for not. And some of these were interesting.
Yeah. Some people say the local community is small
Mm-hmm.
and they never want to make it awkward if there is a breakup. And that's a reality in any community you're in, whether you're in the workforce
Yeah.
or if you're in a church. I mean, if you've ever dated somebody in a church, then ended up being a bad breakup, then yeah, it causes conflict with church because you have mutual friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is a very serious and real concern.
Yeah.
Let me see, I've learned that it can create friction and awkwardness. That's the most common one I think I would see here. For awkwardness because you have the community is so intertwined. And even if you go to larger communities like say Dallas or New York, you still have a high probability of meeting each other again. Because let me tell you, dance is, as we all know, dance is not something you just, oh, I'm done dancing, I'll never dance again. It's part of your soul now. You're not addicted, it's part of your DNA. You can't just drop it off and not miss it.
Yeah, for some people.
Only for good people.
I guess it depends on your reasons for
The
getting
reason why you
into
dance.
it. Yes. Now, some people said they were married. That's why they didn't date in the dance community. That was their answer to the survey.
Well, here's one that you like.
Yeah. And some person says that they didn't date in the dance community because all the guys were gay. That's
all
their words.
The guys were gay.
So, Ray.
Unquote.
So, Ray. Why would they think that?
I don't know what community they were in.
Yeah.
But I don't know any dance community, and I've visited a number of them around the world, and here where they were all, yes, you have gay men dancing, because we don't discriminate.
Mm-hmm.
But to say all guys are gay?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're exaggerating, but that makes me think about how whenever you started dancing and you kind of didn't quit dancing, how some of your close male friends thought you were not straight. So just because you were dancing, I don't know, no,
I actually had some friends who knew me from high school and in the Army think that I had come out of the closet. And some probably still think that. That's okay if they think that. But no, I'm not gay. I'm not in that community, obviously. If that is true statement, I'm not in that community. But yeah, that was an interesting one here.
All right. So any more answers to this one?
I think I've met friends and no suitors. Our dance circle is too small. Would not want to mess up the dynamics of our group. Never had a chance to personally date someone in the dance community. I was hesitant because of what past experiences that friends of mine had when the relationship doesn't work out. And that is, I mean, those are serious concerns. Yeah, you have to take in consideration.
Yeah.
So number 6.
Okay, Brutus is really acting up right now.
Yeah, so Brutus is playing with this toy.
So number 6, are you still dating someone in the dance community? And most people said, nope. They're not.
Majority of the people are not.
Mm-hmm. And then some people said it doesn't apply to me.
Yeah, and we'll go over the reasons why that is. And then the 27% say yes. Of course, you and I are part of that. We're not dating anymore.
No.
We're married now.
When we put out this survey, though,
we were still not married yet.
We weren't married. We were engaged.
We were engaged.
Okay.
So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Let's see what is below that. Oh, that's all for that question. Number 7. I'll read this one. Overall, would you say dating in the dance community has been a bad experience or a good experience for you? What do you think, Brutus? You're not dating. You're too young. Okay. So this one, now that you read the results.
Okay. It was an even split between I have not dated in the dance community, but I do think it would be a good experience if I did. And it was split between that and yes, I have had a good overall experience.
So there's a lot of optimism
Yeah.
in there.
That was 33% and 33%. So I think that's pretty high. And then the other ones are pretty low.
Yeah, 18% says I don't date in the dance community because I think it would be a bad experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a bad experience overall at 14%.
Yeah. Which I think that's some good results
Yep.
from our small pool of responses. I thought people would have more bad experience.
Well, let's read some of these experiences.
Okay.
Question 8. This is a funny one.
Oh, this is the funny one?
While dating someone in the dance community, did you have clear and well-established boundaries with them, and what were they?
Oh, yeah.
That was a great question. You wrote that question.
Mm-hmm.
And the first answer was, we both dance freely with others. There are some moves I reserve for my partner. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was my answer. I'm not going
Mhm.
to lie. That was me. I'm the one that answered that
Uh-huh.
one. And yeah, we dance freely with other people. It's a dance, not a date. Brutus is invading AGC. Never go on camera with children and animals. You will always be upstaged. Okay. If you do, have no ego. But I'm a dancer, so I have ego. Anyway,
Okay, so this question again is, did you have clear and well-established boundaries with them while you were
Yes.
dating?
And the answer is yes, we did have clear established boundaries, as long as we were both respectful of each other and, of course, respectful with our partners.
Okay, let me look at these answers on my phone. So,
One person says, I didn't know my boundaries as I was newer to the scene as a whole. They were communicated as they were learned, though. So for new dancer, they said, didn't know what the boundaries should be. However, through experience and probably observation, that he or she was able to establish those boundaries.
yes, yeah. Some people, I think most people said that they did have boundaries. A couple of people said that there were no boundaries, which I don't think that's gonna end well. But
No. One person says, we had a rule, first and last dance for each other, no restrictions on styles. And for those who are new to this, you got some styles that are more sensual than others.
Mm-hmm.
You have sensual bachata or urban kizomba, and those tend to be more connected body rolls. And you can even get sensual bachata. What do you call it? Sexual
bachata. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so if you have no restriction on styles, then that's what they're saying there. Where salsa, it doesn't have to be something as sensual as being an intimate
That's
connection.
true. That's true. But it still can evoke some feelings of jealousy when, even if it's not overly sexual or close dance, to see your significant other dancing with somebody else
and having a great time.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If you see somebody having a great time, you might be like, well, they don't have that much fun with me.
Yeah.
I think that really speaks to the observer in that relationship and their insecurities. And for that, there's couple counseling to help establish that, to find out what wounds you have from the past. That's, bringing that pain forward.
So let me read some of these. I don't remember what my answer was for this one, but says some of the answers are: we only discussed boundaries we or I felt made the other one feel uncomfortable with a specific dance connections. Both my partner and I had boundaries. We both held and respect boundaries. There were boundaries about who this person's partner could dance with, boundaries about how many other people their partner could dance with, boundaries about the style of dancing their partner could do with other dance partners. Lots of boundaries there. Boundaries about when my partner could dance with other people. And then somebody said, I've realized that when I do date, do not like it that I participate in the stand. I don't know what that means. They feel threatened by it. But the guys are considered dating in the dance community players, and I've already can't finish reading that one.
I also
do you want to?
which one?
It
They consider
says,
dating and dance community are players, and I've already made out with the girls there. Whoever that was, don't know if they were being funny or not.
okay.
But people look at me and they think, oh, you must be a player. I remember you had one friend caution you before we started seeing each other, saying,
Yeah.
oh, he's a player. And I've had other people say, well, he's always got, because my job is as an instructor was to go around and dance with women. All women.
I mean, it can appear from the outside, it really can appear to be that way, whether you are or aren't. So
Yeah.
I don't think they were necessarily wrong, but okay, let me read some more. I didn't have boundaries, but I adjusted for my partner after I became upset about how much I was dancing a particular style with so many other people at a social. I also stopped dancing with a particular person or two because they didn't like them.
Well, that's communication.
Uh-huh.
And that's also respecting your partner's wishes.
Yeah. And see, this is the type of stuff that I don't think you run into in most other communities, dating in other communities, this kind of stuff. This is a whole nother level of dealing with what boundaries you and your partner are comfortable with.
Right. Right. And we're not even getting onto the topic of what happens if your partner is not a dancer.
Yeah.
Talk about some very secure people out there.
Yeah, I don't even
happen.
know how that, I don't know about that.
All right. Boundaries about who my partner could dance with. Boundaries about what style my dancing partner could be. Did that repeat?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Boundaries about when my partner could dance with other people. My partner had more boundaries than I did. Okay. And dance people, let's see. Boundaries when my partner could dance with other people does not apply. Had nothing to do with dancing, but a lot of dancing relationships are superficial and dance people are crazy.
In the best way.
And they danced, but kept it respectful. Their grinding, etc., would not be. So one thing I tell people is you don't see a lot of grinding or here at the dancing. So you don't hear, if you go to a dance social, you don't see a lot of reggaeton played where there's really just dance. Okay, come here, Brutus. Down.
We need to get him a bed for up here.
Yeah, we do. But you know what? Before we go to the next question, let's take a break because Brutus just gave us a great
and when
segue.
we come back, I want to talk about what were our boundaries? How did we talk about them?
Okay. So what were our boundaries? How did we talk about them? Coming up next.
Today's podcast episode is sponsored by Annabel Valencia Photography. It's me, Annabel Valencia. Did you know that I am a photographer? I've been photographing for over 20 years. I've recently moved from Lawton, Oklahoma to Oklahoma City, and I have a beautiful photography studio inside of International Dance Studio. So if you are looking for photos to reconnect you with your family and show all the love you feel for each other, give me a call. Or if you're a business owner and you are looking for photos to connect you with your audience on a deeper level, give me a call at 405-985-6805. That's Annabel Valencia Photography in Oklahoma City.
And we're back. And the topic you want to discuss was?
What were our boundaries and how did we communicate with them? So communicate them. And I don't think that we really had a sit down conversation about it, but I do remember that after we were dating, and we were on our way to our first social together as a couple, I asked you, okay, what are the expectations for tonight? Are we going to continue the way it's been in the past before we were dating? Are we going to dance with other people or are we just exclusively dancing with each other? And it was good to just get that established because I think a lot of conflict is a result of unmet expectations. And a lot of times we don't speak our expectations. So we just
and we talked about it. Of course, I was an instructor in town. And so I had the expectation of going out. But we do like to go places outside of this dance community and just dance together.
Right. So
we have that.
So for Ray, whenever we attend a social at iDance here at the studio, you're in work mode.
Absolutely.
And so he's dancing with lots of other students, lots of other partners, and that's a different scenario. And you're talking about whenever we just go out dancing outside of an iDance social or outside of Oklahoma
Outside
City.
of Oklahoma City.
Then we actually can choose whether we're going to just dance with each other or dance with other people or dance mostly with each
Some
other.
percentage.
But still a little bit with other people.
I think we choose some percentage. I know we went to Tulsa recently and danced at, what was that?
Temple of Dance.
Temple of Dance. Great.
Yeah, we had a
place,
great
by the
time.
way. Great time. And we did dance with a few other people, but majority of the dances were together. And we appreciated that. We enjoy that because you are my favorite dance partner.
And you're my favorite dance partner.
I love you. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. Got a little distracted there. So we did actually, have a percentage, but I think we were 80% just you and I.
Yeah, because was it a date night or something?
Yeah, it was our date night. Yeah.
We have to be flexible. We have to adjust to the situation, and then, sometimes it's not always perfect, and I think at one point, for example, we had said that the first dance and the last dance is going to be with each other, but then it doesn't always work out that way for one reason or another.
Well, sometimes you get to the dance studio before I do.
Never.
Sometimes I get there before you do. Sometimes, especially here at iDance, I'm in work mode. So the music started, but I'm trying to resolve a problem or meet a new guest or a new client or talking to a new potential student.
Yeah.
And I don't expect you to sit there like a bumping log. Oh, no, no, I'm not dancing with you. Not until my husband comes up.
Okay, whatever. And then sometimes you forget.
Never,
that
never
dance
happens.
is my dance.
We're supposed to be honest here, okay?
Yeah, but you got to be flexible.
Yes, and that's one thing is in relationships, flexibility and forgiveness. But when you are hurt, communicate your pain without accusing your partner.
Yeah.
I was hurt. I was disappointed. And find out what the motive was. Well, good. I was trying to disappoint you.
Okay. All right. You're getting carried away now. Let's go to question 9. This is, do you find it difficult to date somebody in the dance community? Why or why not? And some people said no. No big deal.
Yeah, no issue.
It's not a big deal.
And I think it really has to do with the character of the person. If you are a well-established, mature adult who understands that two good people can still not be compatible, but you're still good people, and you're just, okay, we're not going to work out. You hurt my feelings, I hurt yours, I forgive you. You can still be in the same community and function as adults. And we see that a lot because we have a lot of our friends who started dating and broke up. And then we see the wars, the battles. And you'll see some of the responses that talk about that.
I personally do think it is difficult to date in the dance community, even if you have two mature people. But it is difficult because there's so many things to worry about and so many boundaries to discuss. You have to be extremely confident and secure. And then you've got to have two people that are very confident and secure, not prone to jealousy, and have very open communication and well-established expectations, which I think is difficult.
Well, I think that I can understand the motive along with that. And I agree with everything you said. If your partner is actually trying to be infidel, not be fidel with you and try to get infidelity, jealousy can be appropriate. It's like
as in any situation.
Right, as in any situation. Understanding that a dance is not a date. If a boundary is broken, before you get jealous, you express your hurt and say you broke a boundary, we had understanding. It happens in every relationship. And then identify if that's a habit, if it's a trend, or if it's not. But I think it's difficult just because of the proximity of other partner of the opposite sex. I know in one case where a young lady was jealous of her partner over an instructor. But what if that instructor, instead of being a dance instructor, was a gynecologist or urologist or massage therapist?
Yeah, but you don't see your gynecologist once a week. Okay. You don't. I don't.
I haven't seen my gynecologist,
It's
and
just different.
it is different.
It's like a whole nother
A
level.
massage therapist you might see once a week.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there is a professional boundary that instructors need to maintain with their dance partners versus romantic partners, and need to be wary of that.
Well, so I think it's difficult because if you're trying to do it well, if you're flippant about it and you just not really very invested in the person you're dating, I think sure, it's not a big deal. But I think if you're actually maybe serious or trying to find something with meaning and depth, then I think it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, and I think the solution is pretty simple though, but most solutions are. That's just communication. Communicating expectations and feelings. And me listening to your feelings or you listening to mine without feeling attacked.
Mm-hmm. So do you want to read some of these?
Yes, let's read some of these. All right. Do you find it difficult dating Dan? Yeah, and flat out no. That's it. Yes, because it doesn't work out. You'd have to see them on the dance floor again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen some pretty dramatic events on dance floor.
Can you read the last one?
The dance community feels somewhat incestuous. I don't want to get that close. Closely involved with those people, and in that
I don't know what that means.
in that way, I want to keep it strictly dancing, and I don't want to deal with any kind of romantic drama. That person is a very clear boundary.
Yeah.
But again, I also found it hard dating somebody outside the dance scene who's not a dancer. Say, so you have 20 women in your arms every night?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're a dancer, dating might just be hard, period.
Mm-hmm. I think so. Now, wait, hold on before you change it. Somebody said, I tried it once and never again. It's my me time. Somebody said I had a child within the dance community and it destroyed me. And that's serious.
Yeah.
So, consequences.
More answers. I think there's a double standard that male dancers can date around, but female dancers will gain a reputation. I'm not sure how LGBTQ plus dominant dance scenes are. I'm still in the closet with my family about my gender and sexual orientation. Please do not speculate who it could be. Okay.
I don't think you
I
were
have no
supposed
clue who you are.
Yeah.
Due to lack of access, but I've been a part of the conversation where the heterosexual male dancers who are thinking about dating multiple people actually were casually dating more than one partner and or had dated many female dancers. And they were determined okay, but not always, of course, for the female. And I think that's a historically cultural trend where men were allowed to be more free romantically than women were. I don't think it's necessarily the total situation now. Females were determined to be undateable or only good for playing around with. It's a long response. Anyway, yeah, that's all I'm going to go on that one.
So
dating in the
basically,
dance scene in Oklahoma feels more difficult the longer you are in it and date more than one person in the same area. Okay.
yes.
That person had a lot to say.
The community is so small.
It is.
Yeah, here.
Because it's like if you go to LA or Dallas or New York, you have multiple different places to go every weekend at the same time. You have multiple parties. You have one in this part of Dallas, one over here. in Fort Worth, another one on the south side of Dallas, all on the same night. In LA, you have them all over the place. And New York, the same thing. And so it's really hard to tell which one you choose to do. And that's not the
Well-
case here in Oklahoma. You don't have that option here. Hold on a second.
Well, would you say, would you agree that a male dancer isn't prone to getting a bad reputation by dating a lot of people in the dance scene versus a female dancer? Or if she dates too many people in the dance scene, she's going to be labeled negatively?
I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for myself. I don't look down upon people who, what's a lot of dates in the scene?
Mm-hmm.
It's all subjective. I think there are women in a dance scene who are just as nonchalant as there are men, just like in any community. And I think there are people of different opinions here. So this person is speaking from a biased perspective, but yes, there's probably is that traditional outlook overall.
I mean, I think that the male dancers in any small dance community, if they've hopped around from girl to girl and everybody knows that they do that, I don't think that it's looked
No,
well
it doesn't
upon.
look good.
I don't.
That's not the character of a man most women want anyway. They don't want a person or a partner. Maybe some, a gay man looking for. You don't want somebody who's just nonchalant with their, relationships.
Yeah.
And so it is not the most attractive or appealing. It's not appealing or attractive.
Yeah, but when you're a new dancer, you come in on the scene and you don't know anything about anything.
Somebody targets them.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a word for that kind of person, and it's a predator.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a predator. And those aren't welcome in our dance scene. We definitely try to keep our dance scene safe in that area. And yeah, of course, it's open to the public, so people come in, but it's a family too. Anyway, moving along. Let's see here. One person says yes, because boundaries were broken and lines blurred while dancing at times. That can happen. Because there's a greater chance your partner will meet someone else. If your partner is a good dancer, there's always someone asking them to dance. Some dancers make it obvious they don't have an interest beyond dancing by the way they dance with your partner, and it can become a source of contention.
So.
Some person, I just don't find dancers attractive.
Handsome, yes. Attractive, no. Okay, I don't know. This person says it's not difficult. People have common interests, or they wouldn't be at salsa socials. So some people say yes, some people said no. I say that it is difficult. I don't know. Do you want to read all of these? This is a lot.
We'll just skip through some of these. We'll just hit. Not particularly, as long as there's understanding. You'll have to see them again, even if things don't work out. You can manage that. You can manage dancing. Grammar, you should be fine. And while you're with them, just communicate what your view is of the intimacy or lack thereof. And if there's a non-compromisable difference, you should let it go before one person feels they're wronged.
Okay, this next person said yes and no for is it difficult to date in the dance community? And they said, my first experience was awful and he slut shamed me frequently despite meeting me dancing. Wow. Anyway.
Well, it's not, he's already got issues.
Yeah.
He was the second front rolling relationship I entered after leaving the first one and finding dance. My second relationship in the dance scene, I'm married to, and we go dancing all the time. He supports my hopes and dreams and always encourages me to be the best version of myself that I can be, and I have grown a lot with him by my side. I also allow him his freedom and his own growth in dance. We are both securely attached and have had conversations regarding boundaries in dance. A couple times we had uncomfortable situations, but we talked about it and grew from it. Sometimes it can be hard, but it's worth it because it is our passion in life, and we couldn't be the version of ourselves without dance.
Hmm.
That sounds like you're writing.
I didn't write that. So it wasn't me.
Yeah.
I have very good grammar.
Some people say too much flirting.
Too much flirting. So, but the thing is that you have to, if you decide to date somebody that's also a dancer, right? Or that is a dancer and you're not, let's say. Well, if you're both dancing in the dance scene, you have to be prepared for the fact that you might see their ex, or then after you break up, you are going to be around them, see them on the dance floor, and then you've got to be able to deal with the consequences of that and the emotional toll that it's going to take.
Yeah. Now, I've dated in dancing. I've dated in Oklahoma before I stopped dating. But I made a rule. I only date nice people.
Oh. So you don't have to deal with any drama.
So no, there's
no
no
breakup
drama.
drama.
No, if I dated someone or I flirted with somebody, they were nice people.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're an ex of mine in Oklahoma City, you're a nice person.
Yes, Ray. All your exes are wonderful.
Well, only one hates me, but I was married to her for a long time. And she wasn't a dancer and I wasn't in the dance scene. So that's not an imply here.
Okay, now we're to the last question, which is number 10.
Question.
And we gave people a chance to tell their story.
But before we go there, let's take a break.
All right, let's take a break.
All right, we're back with our last question. I think it's probably the one with the most, because we actually asked people to tell their story.
Yes, we asked them to tell us about their experience, and
not everyone responded.
No.
But it's like some people want no experience. NA.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few people, they just haven't had any experience. One person I remember answering, nope, I didn't date in the dance scene because I was married.
Mm-hmm.
Good on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's something that maybe a topic for a future conversation is, okay, what's it like if you're in a relationship with a dancer, but you're a non-dancer?
I don't think it'll work.
No interest.
Do you?
I know people, one person, she was an instructor, a performer in Belgium. He was not a dancer at all. Of course, Belgium, the laws were different in the sense that he always served, he worked the bar. He served alcohol. He supported in other ways. He was there. He was present. He did a lot of the heavy lifting for speakers and stuff, where she was performing and dancing and having fun. They were married for a long time. Of course, I don't think they're married now. But that could be any reason. That might not be because, because they're divorced or divorcing doesn't mean that it's because she's a dancer. It could be anything else involved in there.
Well, I'm thinking of another couple. I haven't seen them much lately, but they're married. And, oh no, they both dance. Never mind.
Sometimes the other partner will just start just to share that experience. It's not because it's not like we said before, golfing or bowling. But even bowling, I mean, most of the time it's a family event. Okay. How was your experience? Tell us your story. Want to read that first one?
Well, let's see. From mine are in a different order on my phone, so I'm going to read what's here. So this person met their spouse in the dance scene in 2019, and they were in the process of breaking up with their first dancer ex. And they said that they used the term dancer lightly for this ex, and they're married. And the bottom line is that when things got a little bit tough, they worked through it, and their love for each other conquered everything.
All right. So another answer here, I'm just going to go through here. One single date in Las Vegas scene and was the worst experience ever. That's definitely a story. At least a part of a story. I got into the dancing because of my partner at the time. After we split up, I decided to continue friendships and my journey in the dance world. Talked to another person in the dance scene, but it would have made it awkward to date, so we decided not to pursue it. Okay. So that's what brought her to the dancing, or him to the dancing. Let's see, it says, I'm new to the dance community in a certain town. Would love to date someone who is also in it, but I get that,
I get the what if it didn't work out
yeah,
and having to see them again.
again, grammar.
Mm.
And having seen them again, or losing interest in dancing again because you might run into them. If you're both conscious, then hopefully that wouldn't apply and all would end well.
Can I read this one?
You read whatever you want,
Okay.
sweetheart.
This one says, as a pro, and I don't know what that means exactly. As a pro, I did the whole cliche date your partner thing. It didn't end well. I dated a couple of students over the years, and that just varied in issues. In the social salsa scene and such, I've dated, and it's tough to weed out who's genuine and who is there for temporary flames. I'd say most were there for flings and hookups. In my 20 years plus of dancing, I've met 5 good, faithful men. They were all taken. Oh, 5 out of hundreds, probably. I found the more skillful they were, the more I had to beware. Ooh.
Why are you looking at me?
You want to read another one?
No, I want to discuss that one.
Okay.
They say they didn't find. I wonder what the average is in any community.
Yeah.
Is a dance scene different in that aspect of finding somebody compatible? Because guys would sit there and say, yeah, trying to find a decent girl. People told me you won't find a decent girl in Lawton, Oklahoma. Well, I found her in Oklahoma City, but she lived in Lawton, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That might be why you're the exception.
Who said that?
Oh, everybody and all the military people in Lawton. But then some people say never date a military guy.
Yeah.
You've heard that.
I think I said that to
You've
myself
probably said
before.
that to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you didn't keep that promise. So I wonder what the average is in other communities, like the church community. How many are really authentic? I don't know. I keep going back to the church community because I've been in the church community heavily, and so have you.
Mhm.
And we found the dance scene is very similar to that. You meet each other on a weekly basis. You have friends, right?
Okay, yeah. Well, I remember, sort of on topic, but off topic a little bit. I remember when I was new to a church community, and there was a couple, I had a female friend that I would attend with a lot, and then there was a couple of guy friends that we were going out to eat all the time after service, very frequently, and it was just a friend thing. And then I got up to go to the bathroom, and my friend's sitting there, and one of the guys tells her, hey, which one of us is she interested in? And she told me, and I thought, oh man. I mean, I wasn't interested in either one of them, and I thought it was just friendly. And then after that, I had to cut things off, really. I mean, cut things off in the sense that they were getting the wrong idea.
So I don't think the dance community is the only place you find difficulty. I
Yeah.
think in any community like that, there's a church community, or again, what if you're in wrestling or baseball? But let's see more here. Overall, I'd say it's been good. The actual amount of folks, they spelled it. They almost was as entertaining as what their response is their spelling. Folks,
F-O-L-X.
folks.
Yeah.
Okay. I've dated, had an experience with, drank with, etc. is not something I openly discuss with other dancers. I don't want that part of my life to be gossip fodder. However, my policy of being openly and brutally honest with my current partner about who I have been with did hurt them in the beginning of our relationship, and that was not my intention. So we've had to work through many boundary setting struggles. But we're in a good place now, and that makes us both satisfied. So, okay. Now, the person I was dating knew I loved to dance and signed us up for classes. When we broke up, we continued to be dance partners. I dated someone in the dance community. We got pregnant. And he ended up dumping me and telling me to get an abortion. He left. That's
Yeah, that's just sad.
sad. I dated a few people I met in the community. One relationship lasted a few years. We're still friends. I moved away. No dance community where I live now. So we have, and there's more answers here
Mm-hmm.
to go. I think overall, it falls like anywhere else. It depends on the open communication, maturity, and the level of healing you've had from past wounds.
Yes, because the nature of partner dancing is going to bring up any insecurities you have, and you have to be able to deal with what it's going to be like to watch your significant other asking other people to dance, being asked to dance, and then your partner can't always control how close or sensual the other dance partner
Just trying to be.
is. And then, as a matter of fact, I've told you this: whenever you're dancing with somebody else on the dance floor, I just try not to watch. I don't sit there and
Dwell on it.
watch the dance. I mean, I would watch as I would anybody else on the dance floor.
That's the same thing with me. I don't sit there and be like,
No.
Is she smiling too much? What?
Mm,
Oh no, I mean, I don't do that.
yes, yes.
I'm enjoying the dance. I'm enjoying watching you enjoy yourself, and but I know when we're together, and I think one of the boundaries we have is when we dance together. We dance, I'll say, more intimately, but it's always the dancing that we could do in front of our children without making them blush.
So, on a more intimate level than most other dance partners, but still appropriate
Yes,
for
we stay appropriate.
public consumption.
Yeah, it's good. It's open to public consumption. And it's not, I'm not talking for an OnlyFans page consumption.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. We dance. Yeah, it's definitely, you can tell that we are together. We're romantic.
Yeah, because when we dance, sometimes I'll do like this,
Mm.
right? I don't do that with other people.
I'm back. I'm sorry. Right. And I don't sit there and, snuggle my nose and anybody else's, shoulder and neck. So we have a dance that we do, but we keep everything for public consumption. We don't go out there, we don't start grinding on the dance floor or doing what should be reserved for the bedroom.
Well, nobody should be doing
exactly.
that on the social dance floor.
Exactly. But I mean, every now and again, if you go to a club, you see some
right
crazy stuff. But we also understand that the social dance scene is a family-oriented event. And yeah, there's been one or two people that's had to be talked to because they forgot that. But even when you get into sensual bachata or sensual, zouk, the more sensual aspects of zouk, those dancers still keep it clean. They still keep it clean for public consumption. And of course, a body wave looks way more sensual than it really is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's one thing. That's one boundary we have, is we have a moral boundary. One, our children are there. Other people's children could be there. And two, we also reserve, public consumption versus personal private, behaviors. And that's where we have that boundary, and we had that from the very beginning. And as I was a instructor in the community. You now. Oh yeah, she's now a certified Kizomba instructor, by the way,
right.
through
Yes.
Kizomba Training Academy, led by Tonino Cidadade. We both got certified in that recently. So you're now an instructor, a dance instructor here, a teacher. You wouldn't like me calling an instructor, a dance teacher. And so we have a professional level that we both understand maintaining. I think when the instructors and the teachers cross that boundary, they lose credibility.
What's the boundary that they shouldn't cross?
Well, like dating around, becoming, all the bad examples we had there, being one of those on that list we have up here. Those are some serious boundaries. But it is a scene where we have that professionalism, but we still maintain that, hey, this is a dance with my wife versus a sensual dance with another sensual dancer that I might participate in. I still keep those boundaries there.
So we have boundaries.
We have
I
boundaries.
think for clearly established boundaries is a must, right?
Communicating hurt
Mm.
without accusing. Communicating hurt. You're cheating on me with him. And that's accusing.
Oh,
Saying, I felt insecure. If I was meant to admit that, it's just an example, by the way. I've never had to explain this to her. Okay, but if somebody's feeling insecure, say, I felt really insecure when you're dancing that way with that person.
mm-hmm.
And then talk about it and see where the resolution goes. There's a compromise in there.
I think it's tricky.
It's
I
not,
think
if
it's
it-
tricky. I think if both people don't already come into the relationship with very, very similar boundaries and expectations, then it's going to be difficult. If one person thinks nothing's off limits, you shouldn't be jealous about anything that I do, and the other person is not okay with that, I don't know if there could be a compromise, but that's,
well, then if there can't be a
then-
compromise, then that's going to be the end of the relationship.
yeah. Mm.
And that's say, okay, let's do the right thing here. It's not going to work. We have two different moral standards.
So now, whenever you started being an instructor, did you find it difficult dating, or did you ever try dating out? You dated outside of the dancing or only in the dance scene?
Let's answer that question after a break.
Hey, it's Annabel Valencia, wife of Ray Salsa. I wanted to let you know that we are always looking for apprentices. And you don't even have to have any salsa experience to join our apprentice team. That's right, we're looking for non-dancers who have a love for teaching and are good with people. So if that is you, message us, give us a call, let us know that you're interested. Our apprentices get amazing perks, weekly training, and access to online video instruction. It's a great way to learn salsa. You're gonna love it. Let us know if you're interested, and we'd love to talk to you.
All right. So the question maybe that I had a break on is, did I find it difficult as a dance teacher?
Yes, once you started teaching. And, did you date outside of the community, and did you find it difficult either way?
Yeah, I found it limiting. If I was dating if I was dating somebody who's not in the dance community, they would have a hard time. They were very honest ladies were honest with me about this. Me as a dancer and them not being dancers, and knowing that I'm be dancing with a lot of different women at these socials. I'm expected to go to these
Were they
socials.
inclined to go with you? Like, did they go and watch, or
No,
was it
no.
totally separate?
Honestly, I didn't. It never got past the first date.
Mm.
And I could see why. I mean, that's a lot to expect. If you're not familiar with the community, right, then it's like you feel like you don't know what to expect. Is he sleeping around with all of them? So I never got past the first date. They might really like me, but they find out, oh, you're a dance teacher. Oh, that's sexy. Oh, but wait, that means you danced a lot of other people too?
Mm-hmm. So at first they liked it until they sat and thought about it.
I think that was the reality
And
of it.
then as a teacher, did you find it difficult dating in the dance community? Because then you've got the boundaries and professional
Yeah.
boundaries and all that
Well,
you have to deal with.
I tried not to date students. All right. I think that my personal opinion, if you are a dance teacher and you start dating your student, then you do that regularly as a habit, that becomes a problem. And then your motive for being a teacher is in question.
Mhm.
And you and I started, you were my student, you and your daughter,
When we met.
when we first met. And there was a clear boundary. I wasn't trying to link up with you. We were dancer and dance teacher and dance student. And that was a relationship until I moved to Oklahoma City and you quit taking lessons from me.
Mm-hmm.
Then we started seeing each other. Of course, you were in the community, so that, all this applies. We both were. And I think we are a big exception of what they could be for somebody.
Well, but we did have our difficulties.
Yes. Yes, we had our difficulties. Did that answer your question, my love?
Mm-hmm.
How about you? Have you found it
would-
difficult?
Dating in the dance community?
Yeah, before.
I'm still consider myself new to the dance community. I've not even been in it for 3 years, which to me is, I feel like that's very new.
Most people don't last 3 years in the dance community. They give up and find other hobbies, but okay.
I don't know how soon people give up. Maybe after a few months. I don't know. For people that are there to stay, I feel like 3 years is still a newbie. I
Okay.
feel like that.
Okay.
So anyway, but I didn't date much. But I never dated much at all. I didn't date much at all. And in the dance community, I went on a handful of dates, and that's about it. But I didn't have to deal with the boundary of being a teacher.
Right.
So it's totally different.
You're still nice.
The fact that you were, and that was at the forefront of my mind whenever I met you. That was a boundary that I wasn't willing to cross. So
Sorry, we just stopped. We broke up our dance relationship and pursued a personal relationship. But you see some of the gentlemen you've been on a handful of dates with still in the dance community.
yeah,
And it's
Yeah.
no drama there.
no,
I can't even think of who you are. I know you. I can't think of who you are because you
Yeah.
don't ever act different. So,
and then I have to see that you've dated and relationships with.
yeah.
So, community, and that's just maybe that's just a real life, real life adult consequence of dating anywhere. But it definitely takes a lot of, like I said earlier, you have to be very secure. You have to be very confident. You have to have clear communication, well-established expectations, boundaries, and then you got to be in agreement with all of the above.
Yes, you have to see the world from the same perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I think
In
that's.
alignment.
And I think that's the serious thing. There are definitely bad experiences and good experiences that we found through this. There's a lot of hurt people out there, but we're all hurt people. The question is, how well do we heal?
Yes, and dancing is wonderful. And I want to finish this podcast episode with something that somebody wrote in.
Okay.
Are we finishing
I
up
think
right
I
now?
think it's definitely a good
There's-
time to finish up.
We got tons of more responses and things that we could talk
And
about.
this
but,
might trigger even more responses in future conversations as well. So
yeah. But somebody said this was a bonus. We have the bonus question. We're not going to get into it. What advice do you have for anybody dating in the dance community? And this was lovely. Somebody wrote, dance is vulnerable, intimate, fun, and honest. The things relationships are built on. And I just thought that was beautiful. So yes, dance is vulnerable, intimate, fun, and honest. The things that relationships are built on. So dance is beautiful, brings people together in a way that I think in a way that other things don't.
I still think dance is one of the greatest gifts we have as people. And it's one of the greatest blessings that we can share. And more people would benefit from having it. And Brutus will benefit from me learning to dance too. But he has 2 left feet, literally.
Yes, he does.
All right. So Brutus said his goodbyes. We're going to say our goodbyes until next time. thank you so much. It's been a event that we've all been looking forward to, talking about this subject. And we will see you all
Next episode.
next episode. Ciao.
Thank you for listening to this podcast episode of Ray Salsa. Whatever platform you're listening to or watching us, go ahead and leave a comment. We want to know what was your biggest takeaway. And also send us your questions, suggestions. Send us a message. We want to hear from you. You can also email at rayray@raysalsa.com. Let us know what you think.